Mr. Sandhu, seconded by Ms. Sims, Newton North Delta, moves that in the opinion of the House, the government should officially apologize in the House of Commons to the South Asian community and to the individuals impacted in the 1914 Komagata Maru incident, in which passengers were prevented from landing in Canada.
Today, I'm asking all members of this House to vote in support of this motion.
The tragedy of the Komagata Maru is a dark chapter in Canadian history.
The South Asian community should not have to wait a century for an official apology for this tragic event.
The people of the South Asian community deserve closure for this trauma so that the process of healing and reconciliation can begin.
In 2006, we urged the Prime Minister to make an apology in the House of Commons.
In 2008, the Prime Minister attended an outdoor cultural festival in Surrey, BC, where people were led to believe that he would announce the date of a formal apology.
But a few days before the event, we learned that the Prime Minister would be apologizing from the festival stage.
Rather than listening to the festival organizers who advised that an apology from the state would be ill-received at this park,
the Minister went on to say that the turning away of the Komagata Maru was different than the other incidents, such as the Chinese head tax.
Let me quote him for you. He says, "This was a single incident that affected about 350 non-Canadians of, some 90 years ago. Let's forget about it and move on." Really?
Mr. Speaker, I believe that the apology was made by the Prime Minister with great respect. I know most people in the community appreciated that apology, agree with that apology, respect the apology, and feel we should move on.
The fact of the matter is, I understand the members of the opposition are trying to make this a political issue.
Mr. Speaker, I was there on the stage with the Prime Minister in Surrey in 2008. We were expecting the Prime Minister to announce the date of formal apology, official apology, in the House of Commons. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's statement in the park was immediately rejected by thousands at the event and those who heard about it. Many felt disappointed and insulted.
This apology was widely regarded as rude, insincere, and disrespectful.
Mr. Speaker, the current Minister of Citizenship and Immigration said at that time, the apology has been given and it won't be repeated.
Prime Minister going out to speak at an event and making a pronouncement is a political speech. Whenever we have apologized for the wrongs that we have done to others, and history shows it, it has been done through an apology in this House. My question to my honourable colleague is, why is this government, if it's willing to acknowledge out on a stage that what Canada did was a historical wrong, why not apologize in here and let's close this chapter so truth and reconciliation can proceed?
The Conservatives have essentially created two different levels of apologies for historic wrongs. The South Asian community in Canada deserves this. They deserve a respectful acknowledgement of this historic wrong. Today, as we remember how Canada treated the Komagata Maru in 1914, and we commit to learning from our past, we ask this government to officially apologize in the House of Commons to the South Asian community and to the individuals impacted in the Komagata Maru incident. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
All those opposed to the motion will please rise.
Mr. Harper. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Poiliev. Mr. Lake. Mr. O'Brien. Mr. Bernier. Mr. Gosal. Mr. Goodyear. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Abloncy. Mr. Menzies. Mr. Upal. Mr. Valcourt. Ms. Adams. Mrs. Glover. Ms. Leach. Mr. Leong. Mr. Saxton. Mr. Tweed. Mr. Watson. Mr. Allen Tobik Maktakwak. Mr. Brownberry. Mr. Albrecht. Kerr. Mr. McColman. Mrs. O'Neill-Gordon. Mr. Richards. Mr. Shorey. Mr. Weston Daniel. Mr. Hayes. Ms. James. Mr. Lizon. Mr. Opitz. Mr. Seaback. Mr. Straw. Mr. Toe. Mr. Gill. Mr. Hillier. Mr. DeVolen. Mr. Menegakis. Mr. Leaf.
questions and comments. The honourable member for Vancouver Kingsway, a 30-second question. That's all the time.
I will keep it brief. I mean, we've asked the Conservative government to make an apology in the House of Commons. They've refused. When the NDP formed government in 2015, I would like to ask my honourable colleague what an NDP government would do if and when we're in power with respect to this issue.
And a 30-second response from the honourable member.
When the NDP forms government in 2015, we will issue an official apology from this House if this Prime Minister does not have the courage to do it.